Hi friends, it's Sophia and welcome to Sophia's Turning 50, where we connect and tell stories and celebrate our age no matter what it is, but especially if we're turning 50. Today we are going to talk about being who we are. We're going to have a preview on the next week's health and wellness section. And I have a 1980s show and tell. This one might be from 1979, but pretty sure it's around 1980. Okay, so let's get started. The first topic is be who you are. So the reason that I was thinking about this lately is because when you get to be about our age, you have had enough experiences and tried enough things out to where it's time for you to acknowledge, like, I am this way and that's okay. And I'm never going to be that way, which I wanted to be, and I'm just going to leave that behind. And maybe you don't have that, but I definitely do. And so when very lately have a few things have come up where I've just said, you know, I'm going to be who I am. I'm going to stop trying to be who I'm not and stop beating myself up because I'm not this other way that I wanted to be. Okay, was that vague enough for you? So let's get to some actual stories about that. So the first one is in my career. So I went to law school wanting to be a civil rights lawyer. And one of the first clinics that I was able to do was a capital punishment clinic. And that means that our supervisor for the clinic had a client on death row. And the team that he had that I was on, we were doing research and we were doing a variety of things for this client. He was on his last set of appeals. It was a real deadline, as opposed to, like, these things take forever, but this was like the last set of appeals. We helped the attorney write a petition for clemency to the governor, and we, filed something with U.S. Supreme Court. And I was just convinced that this was going to work because I had done a bunch of research in the case and saw that the guy had been convicted in like 2 or 3 different counties and 2 or 3 different trials, all for the same crime because there were 3 victims, but each one had a completely different set of facts. And so 2 of them had to be wrong. And I thought, well, that's not how justice works. You got to know what really happened. But you don't. You just say, well, too bad, so sad, he got executed. And I was really devastated by that because, I guess I thought it was going to be like on the movies, but it is not. That's not real life. And at that moment, I kind of saw what a life would be like, kind of fighting the good fight in that arena. And it seemed to me like it would be, spending my whole life banging my head against a brick wall with just a few grains of sand coming out. And, I realized that that's not my personality. That's not the kind of way that I can be in the world. I know there's the story of the person who's throwing 1 starfish back into the ocean at a time, and it's making a difference for that starfish. And I know that there's lots of organizations that work on this, death penalty and are, saving individuals who are wrongfully convicted. But I knew then that just wasn't going to be my life. And so I started looking for other, I'm not even going to go into the story of all the different types of things that I tried to do in this more public interest arena, but I will share with you that one, I was working in a private law firm and trying to do pro bono work, and I had a pro bono divorce client sitting across from me, and she told me her story and what was going on, and I started to cry, and nobody wants their lawyer to cry. It was so embarrassing, and it was so like, I just cannot do this kind of work. And like I said, I did a bunch of other things that I won't go into, but none of it never felt good. I didn't ever enjoy it. And I kept wanting to be the kind of person that could be fulfilled and really get something out of that kind of work, but I'm not. And so I have eventually settled into, I'm an in-house lawyer for a large public company, and I work in an office and I do stuff on the computer. And I like being an office-based attorney working for a business. And I have finally gotten okay with that. I am being who I am, and I'm not gonna feel bad anymore about being who I'm not. Even though I have lots of friends who are the kind of people I wanted to be when I grew up, And there they are doing it. And I finally have gotten to a point where I can release it and let them be who they are, and I'll be who I am, and I'm going to be okay with that. So that's one example. And basically almost the same thing is in the arena of my kids. You know, my mom, she made Kool-Aid after school. All the kids came over. She was involved at the school. Everybody loved my mom. She was friendly. She was always laughing. And when I have kids, I'm going to be just like my mom, blah, 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 blah. Well, you know, the first day I go up to elementary school to volunteer for something, I was like, oh my God, there's so many kids here. And it was so stressful, and I did not like it at all. And I couldn't believe it. And I'm not bubbly like my mom. I don't come across as that friendly, even though I am very friendly. I don't come across to new people as very friendly, and I know that. And it also didn't help that sometime around 3rd grade, I think, Julia made up this game for recess, and she and her friends played it every day at recess. And then another group started playing the same game. I guess they copied Julia, right? They play her same game. And she confronted them and said, my mom is a lawyer and you're infringing my copyright on this game. And who knows, she probably even threatened that I was going to sue them. But I do think that you know, they go around saying my mom's a lawyer and you're infringing my copyright is not a way for people to feel like for kids to think like that's the mom I want to hang out with. But that's okay because, you know, like I said, I have volunteered now many times, and every time, you know, it's not for me. And so now I try to sign up for, oh, I'll bring the water. Can I drop off the cupcakes that I'm going to buy at the store? Or even better, can I just write you a check? Now, both in the kind of nonprofit public service world and at the school, I have served on boards. And so in the nonprofit world, I've served on the board of directors for a couple of nonprofits. And that was better for me because that's the business side, the back, you know, doing things to help it run as opposed to actually doing the work that the nonprofit does. And now I'm on the PTA at one of my daughter's middle schools. And, you know, I'm not the programs person. I am the treasurer. So I'm doing stuff behind the scenes, helping things run, but not going on campus. And so I don't want it to come across like I don't like kids. You know, I love for the kids to have their friends over. I take care of those kids when they're in, you know, when I'm responsible for kids, I'm very attentive and all of that. But it's just like being that mom is not me. And I am jealous. I used to be jealous of the moms that were that way and thinking, oh, I can't believe it. I'm not that way, but I'm just not. So I now let them be who they are and I'll be who I am. And I'm okay with that. And so now I'm going to challenge you. Are there things that you're still hanging on to that you want to be a certain way that you're not? Like, I'm never going to be the kind of person that wants to jump out of bed at 6 in the morning and go for a run. Oh my God, I tried that for years and years. I kept trying to be that kind of person. And I am not, and that's okay. I get my exercise in other ways. I'm not going to be that person. So, what are some things that you're still trying to make yourself be like when that's just not you? It's time to let those things go and just be who you are and embrace that. Okay, next, I'm just going to give you a preview of our next health and wellness. I am actually going to get a chemical peel on my face, like a full-on, my skin's gonna peel off chemical peel. And so in our next video, I'll try to record most of it beforehand because I don't think you wanna watch a skin peeled face for 12 minutes. But I'll do a segment where I show what my face actually looks like in the peel. I've never done this before. I am very vain about my skin, and we can talk about that in another segment, but that's essentially, here I am. I'm embracing who I am. I am vain. I don't necessarily have to be made up all the time, but I like to indulge myself with my skin and getting facials and doing all kinds of stuff. So now I'm trying my very first, you know, like full-on hardcore chemical peel. So we will see what that's like next week. I'll talk a little bit more about it. Now it's time to do our show and tell. And so I know we just had Thanksgiving, and so a lot of people are getting all their Christmas decorations out and getting ready for Christmas. And so I have a Christmas themed decoration to show. This is an ornament, a Christmas ornament that my mom made. I'm gonna guess 1980. It could have been 79, it could have been 81, but I remember going to the store. This is actually just a pattern. So we bought fabric or something, I don't know, but it had a bunch of these elf patterns in them. And my mom made one of these for all of my cousins. And I'm gonna say probably 1980, I maybe only had like 12 cousins. Now I have like 20, but I don't know, somewhere between 12 and 15. She made like between 12 and 15 of these. And I remember helping her to pick out which elf we were gonna use for which person. And I'm pretty sure that I helped, you know, put the stuffing in and possibly helped close it up. And this like this rickrack little thing here to hang from. If you look up close, the stitching is imperfect. Possibly I did that. I'm not sure. But anyway, many of my cousins still have this. We kind of share it with each other on Facebook at Christmas time when we get it out to put it up. And so I just wanted to share that with you. That is and I can say, I'm sure that you will agree that this is something that it is normal and acceptable for me to hang on to for 40 years, unlike a T-ball trophy. This, you know, of course I'm gonna keep this. And so, do you have any old, I have to assume that you're gonna have some ornaments from when you were a kid. I have two other ones that I didn't bring out that I made, but this is the one that my mom made, so I wanted to share that one. So, that is all of our time for today. Thanks for tuning in, and to remember to just be who you are and be okay with it. See you next time.